Okay, welcome everybody. I'm happy you've joined us today. This is the Breathwork for Healing for Europeans. And I'm happy that everyone has come to find out about breathwork. And more importantly, from the last time I did this to now, I've learned more and the importance of breath in more than just healing as a conduit for manifestation, as a conduit for presence, and as a conduit for having the light of God work within you. Whether you call it God, source, it doesn't matter. I personally call it God. And with that, it's amazing how when you're struggling to figure something out, um, whether it's in your own life, in your partner's life, your kid's life, we go to the shallow breath. And it's amazing how when you're in that shallow breath, how everything becomes very crazy in the head, right? Because without that deep breath, you're giving way to your mind to take over, that ego sense. And in in having the opportunity to do this one basically back to back, it was amazing when I was trying to figure out like this new direction with the company, where am I going? Even myself, who's an avid breather, constantly doing it. And I'd be like, why isn't this thing working? Because that's in my head. I forgot to breathe. So most people breathe from their collarbone up. They maybe use 10% of their lung capacity. And as we age, we come out of that kid zone or young adults of running and playing and jumping. When we use our full breath, we get hunched over at our desk typing. We curl up on the couch. I know. We curl up on the couch to watch the movie. So we're relaxing. And so that 10% can go to three. And just a little background, I used to be a tour operator for taking people on tours, driving the bus. And I found that Asians, and this isn't anything about culture or whatever, but the Asians would get to the bus all excited, give you the lightest luggage ever. Thank you. Right? And they wanted to go, 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 go. If we go really fast at each stop, can we add more? And I'm like, no, your itinerary is already crazy. Because they would come to Canada and see Canada in 8 days, the whole entire country, because they only had 2 weeks holidays a year, right? And so I'd be like, this is crazy. Then we'd have the Europeans. They've saved their whole life to come on this trip. Their luggage has only been used once, and that was in the 70s. So no roller luggage. They packed the whole thing entire with the kitchen sink. Yet we would have the day's activities, and they'd be saying, "So is there anything left to do?" I said, "No, this is your free time. After a hike, after all the sightseeing, 50 to 60% of the people would be in the gym, would be in the pool, or just walking around whatever town we're at." And I'm like, don't you guys ever stop? No, we're not tired yet. Right? So, and then, um, as you come to the North Americans, half of them didn't even get off the bus at the stops. They're too tired. Doing what? I don't know. Um, say there's 40 people of passengers, and um, there would be 25 CPAP machines because they truly were never breathing. And this is how you know if you're breathing through the day, you have a wonderful sleep at night. Those days that you're running crazy, crazy, and you're like, okay, I just got to go to bed, you'll toss and turn. And so in my corporate job, I used to work with a lot of project managers, and they'd be like so in depth into the project that they forgot to breathe. So because I had the ability to affect their phones, I put breathing exercises on their phones every hour on the hour. And they couldn't take it off because I was in control. And they're like, why are you making us do this? And I said, because you're like herding cats. You're running here, running there, and you're forgetting to breathe. So by the time you come and we do our meetings, I'm just like, nope, we're going to breathe. And so when you look at these examples of the breath work, the importance of breath, the importance of using the full body breath or the belly breath, which we'll start off with today. Not only is it healthy for your lungs, it actually gets all the oxygen to the rest of your body, right? You want your liver to work better, you want your stomach to digest better. Breathing will help it all. You want your mind to stay clear, get back into the presence of the breath. You cannot stay in your head. And more importantly, the breath keeps you in the presence of your heart. And we are all now in the new age of Aquarius, right? The age of Aquarius, we have no time to be in our heads. The age of Aquarius is all about bringing the breath back to the heart, expanding the lungs fully, and being in the presence, being in the love of who we all are. I do want this interactive, but with saying that, I hope you get out of this the importance of how much everything in our life is run on our breath. We can live without water. We can live without food. You stop breathing, you're gone pretty fast. And the more we keep shallow breathing, the more we're going to have complications in our life. And this is just me, breath is more important, is the life force, which is known, right? If you, without breath, you have nothing. Yet, without consistent deep breathing, you're not in your body. Deep breathing actually keeps the soul grounded in this body. Because if you hear about anyone transitioning, you hear, and if you've ever been in the room with someone transitioning, you know that last gulp of breath is the send off of the soul. And it's when the peace comes into the body. So, any questions so far? No. Okay, we're going to start with the natural belly breath. And this one is also known, like, is the one that opens up the diaphragm, right? You find that you're sitting at your desk too long and you're starting to slouch over. We all do it. It's normal. Get into this breath, the belly breath. It also activates the parasympathetic nervous system. It's also the rest and digestion, and it is also known to reduce the stress, and it improves the oxygen exchange. So this one, when I used to drive a lot, would be like, I never hated red lights because I'd be like, oh, it's forced breathing time, right? I get to the red light, I do my diaphragmatic breath, and I'd be like, cool. The best way to know if you're doing this right is place one hand on your belly and the other on your chest. And as you inhale deeply through your nose, allowing the belly to go out. Most people do it backwards. So as you inhale, your belly is expanding out. As you inhale, your belly expanding out. And as you exhale through the mouth, feeling your belly contract. So this is where I say take your belly button and suck it into your spine. You'll release a lot of the tension, a lot of the slumped shoulders, a lot of the, oh, that meal was too heavy. Okay? So let's try the first one. Okay, breathe in and breathe out. And suck it in. And then breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. And you feel your body shifting just with those three basic breaths. You see how you can bring yourself out of your head of craziness and into your heart and say, oh, I'm home in my body. I can tackle anything. But the more important thing of this breath is it lowers cortisol, which is known as the stress hormone. It helps with digestion and relaxation. And the more important one improves focus and emotional regulation. And why I say this is important is if you're starting to wane when, working on that project, you can't figure things out, you just drop into your heart, drop into your breath, and um, it will help you gain regularity in your body. But more importantly, like if you have kids around you or even yourself, if you're having like a really emotional day and you're just not sure what's going on, just let everything go and be conscious in that deep breath. And those emotions will just slow down. And you also will start seeing the rhythm of why your body was saying you were like in rage or you're in fear or you're crying because you were so out of your body, out of that heart space that it said, well, I'm just going to make you have emotions to get back here. And even if you're having a meeting or in a not so nice conversation with your loved one, take that pregnant pause and breathe. get centered in your body, and the things that you might have said that you shouldn't have, they won't come out because you're going to be more aware of what you're doing. Any questions? These interactive meetings aren't okay. Thank you, Doris.
When you do this belly breath, once I have breathed out and the belly button goes towards the back of my spine,
Hmm.
do I relax my belly when I breathe back in, or do
Well, yeah,
I?
because it goes back out, right? So when you're inhaling, your belly is expanding out. And as it expands out, you're expanding your lungs, everything else that comes in. And as you put it back in, your lungs are going down and your belly button is going to the back of your spine.
Okay, right. I think I was holding on to my holding that in belly in while I
Mm.
was breathing in as well. So I got to relax it all and okay, cool.
Yeah,
I felt
the
good.
biggest thing with the diaphragmatic breath is as you inhale, everything expands out.
Yeah,
It's counterintuitive to your brain.
yeah.
That's what that's why it brings you into the center so fast. Because if you're thinking about the breath, your brain's going to say, "But this is backwards. This isn't right." And you're going to go, "Exactly. That's why we're going to breathe. Because you're telling me to do the wrong thing." Most people, when they breathe, in the inhale, suck it in. On the exhale, let it out. But it's
If
actually the opposite.
there is a nice visual that you can use. If you consider breathing in, bringing yourself into focus, bringing yourself back together. So you're breathing all of yourself in. It has to go somewhere, so it goes into your belly. It goes into your center,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And if
Yeah.
you're breathing out everything that you want to let go.
Hmm.
So it has to be expelled, so the belly will get smaller.
Yeah. And just this diaphragmatic breath is a game changer for core exercises.
Awesome. I'm gonna
That's why,
get flat belly out of this too. Oh,
yes.
win-win all over.
as she's eating a late lunch. I love it. I love it. Okay. So now we're going to go into the box breath, or known as the four square breathing. So the purpose of this one enhances focus, calms the nervous system, and reduces anxiety. In this one, we inhale through our nose for 4 seconds. We hold our breath for 4 seconds, and we exhale for 4 seconds. And then hold our breath again for 4 seconds on the when nothing's in our lungs. Okay? So this one creates mental clarity, reduces stress, and stabilizes emotions, making it great for decision making. And what I like about all of these breaths, unless you're like a person that like is really noisy with their breath, um, they can be done anywhere. Like you could be, when we used to have offices and meetings, and you're sitting around the boardroom at the meeting, you could quietly just go into the 4 second breath and everything eases. And it's amazing how, if you are in a room of people, say it's family members, like you're having big dinner, whatever, and everyone's energy is starting to get like heated and the conversation's kind of going a way you don't want it, you just quietly start doing the 4 second breath. Everyone around you is going to calm because your breath has that the energy to calm the grid. So when people are getting too hyper, too excited, they're they're shallow breathing. So ready to do the box? And you think about this is one of the other things I wanted to say that I learned from the first time to this time doing this one is North America is the only one that doesn't have a routine with breath work. Asians have the Qigong, Tai Chi. The Indians have the yoga mantra, right? Everything we do, every time we move an arm, we should be breathing with it. Every time we move, we should be breathing. We should be more conscious of our breath. And then our bodies wouldn't be as stiff. We wouldn't be so hunched over. We'd be more aware of our surroundings. And that's the difference with animals. If their breath goes into a panic mode or fight or flight, they have felt the danger a long time away. Right? And you even look at for people that, get scared when you do boo or like try to scare them. One, they're not in their bodies. Two, if they're breathing their full belly breath, they'd be like, yeah, whatever, not funny. Right? But it's because they're so shallow breathing that you just kind of like go boo and they go, whoa, what was that? And I also heard this in a podcast I was listening to that it it even plays into dating. Like you're thinking, okay, well, I'm at the club with my girlfriends or guy friends, no big deal. You're not really aware of your breath. You don't realize that you're in the shallow breath. Someone comes up behind you to actually say hello. You're going to jump. One, they invade your space without you knowing. Two, you're not in your body to say I'm grounded enough to handle anything that goes around me, and you instantly in fight or flight. And so here you are going, oh, I just want to meet this guy or girl or whoever. And they instantly are going, you scared me. No, thank you. It it makes it very interesting. So, and it also puts a whole different perspective to why you want a wing person. So you don't get scared of that person that could be your everybody. Okay, ready to breathe? So we're going to inhale for 4 through our nose. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. And hold for 4. Do it again. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. And hold again for 4. You're going to inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. And hold for 4. How are we feeling on that one? Natasha's shaking her head. Nope.
I don't like it because I breathe out longer than I breathe in.
We're
Having
getting
trouble.
to that one. Stop jumping
No, it's just
ahead.
I'm just saying I don't like it that way because it interrupts my out breath, and that's making me totally confused. So I don't like it.
Okay,
Yeah, I
then
need
that.
to pay attention to that myself. I do a
Okay.
lot of square breathing when I walk my dogs, and I tend to continue exhaling in the when I shouldn't at the end.
Well, and um, so that means, like to me, that would signify the fact that you're more comfortable in letting everything go than bringing things in.
It's a good
So the
positive.
so the in breath and the hold breath are the positive. Like think of a battery. So you're doing the positive, and the exhale and the hold on the on the empty is the negative. So you guys are saying that you prefer to be more in the grounded state than in the manifestation state.
I take
Because
that
when
as a
I,
good thing.
yeah, pardon? Go ahead, Martin.
I take that as a good thing.
Well,
It,
it
it
depends
is
on.
what it
Personally,
is.
that's
It
how
is
I
what
want to
it is.
look at it.
Mine is training. We did Ayurvedic training, and Ayurveda always focused on the out breath. So that's where it came
Well,
from.
yeah, but think
Became a
about
habit.
the Ayurveda
Yeah.
is about the healing the body of what it no longer needs. So yeah,
Yeah.
they would focus on the outer breath, right? But
Yeah.
when it comes to a point of on the inhale, you have to have enough good breath coming in to be able to push the old out.
Mm. I just know that it's the flow is like faster and stronger on the in breath,
Yeah,
and the out breath for me is slow and steady, but longer.
yeah.
So it's slower. That's so I don't know how
No,
to.
it's all good. Like this is why like when I start to think about, well, what do people want to hear? Because I can pretty much talk about anything. And I thought, well, everyone does breath work. There's so many classes on breath work, but how many people are doing it properly?
The question is too, what is proper for whom? Because that's what I found. There's no one for all. Like people can tell you, you have to do the box breathing. It doesn't work for me, right?
And that's why I'm just giving you different
Yeah.
examples because the box breathing is one that you can slip into really easily when lots of people are around.
Yeah. For me, it's usually I just take the deep breath in and then the deep breath out,
Yeah,
and then I'm grounded and centered. But that's practice again.
yeah, yeah.
For
But
the
there
energy.
is something to be said about the holding the breath on the full and holding the breath on the empty.
Mm.
It does something for the body and the nervous system that takes you out of the fight or flight, right? Because even think about like the waltz and the dancing, right? It makes that rhythmic, like I'm not in a box for my life, but in this moment, I kind of need that box to be safe, to feel okay, right? So it's like you're bringing the positive, you're grounding the negative, and you're like, oh, I'm coming into my balance, my box that I have created for me. And so, or think about it as you're in this crazy stressful traffic or whatever, and you're just like, oh, this is crazy. Your aura is all jagged, and it's like, where am I? Am I here? Am I there? Just bring in that box breathing or the belly breath breathing, and all of a sudden you get to that round aura again. You're all in the sandbox, all jiving in your own energy, and you're letting everything else bounce off. That's how I look at it. But everyone has their own. Then that's why we have a couple more to go, right? So now we're going to do the alternating nostril breath. The purpose of this breath is to balance the left and right hemispheres of the brain. It promotes inner peace and it clears energetic blockages. So when you're doing this one, you're closing your right nostril with your thumb and inhaling through the left nostril. And then you're going to switch with your index finger, close the left nostril, and breathe out through the right. Right? Inhale through the right, switch, exhale through the left. This balances the nervous system the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, reduces stress and emotional overwhelm, and improves mental clarity. So with this one, um, 1 second. I just have to cough. Okay. This one, sometimes don't go super deep on this one until you have practice with it, because sometimes I've been told people get lightheaded because they've never really balanced out the two sides before, and the body kind of goes, whoa, what are you doing? So we'll just take it slow. So we'll hold the right nostril and breathe in with the left, and then breathe out. Hold the left, breathe in, breathe out. And I'm going to take it one step further. Hold your right, breathe in. Hold your left, breathe out. Now keep it holding on your left. Breathe in. Hold the right. Breathe in. Switch. Breathe out. What's the sensation you feel with that one?
It's good when you have blocked nose, trying to clear it.
Yeah.
When you're doing both, yeah.
I guess I
Sometimes
should have checked that everyone blew their nose before we started this, but and it also shows, like, especially if you tend to have sinus issues, what side blocks more? Because if you always have like your right side blocking, that's a feminine issue. If you always have the left blocking, that's a masculine issue.
And when it goes back and forth,
Yeah,
mine changes all the time, but it's
yeah,
constant.
yeah. And just know, like, if the right in the head, it's the left in the body, and the left in the head is the right in the body. It changes in the throat. Okay, so now we're going to do the fire breath. Um, this energizes the body, detoxifies it, and strengthens the lungs. You sit up tall, inhale deeply through the nose, exhale forcefully through the nose while pulling in your belly. Continue short, rhythmic exhales, keeping the inhale passive. Women should know this one if you've had babies, right? Okay, so sit up tall, take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale forcefully, pulling your stomach in. And then keep exhaling like passive, like, does that make sense? So you breathe in, take a deep breath, forcefully put it out, and then like do short, quick breaths, right? So breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. So this one stimulates the digestion and your metabolic step, increases oxygen energy, detoxifies the body, and clears the mental fog. So this one's a good one, like if you're getting ready to go for a run. Let's pump up the oxygen so we actually have more oxygen to get going. Um, any thoughts on that one?
I felt this one in my head. I
Yeah,
felt as if I was getting the woo. Am I like that kind of high? Am I that kind of feeling?
yeah. That's how you know that the that this breath would be good to get this oxygen running. Because it's amazing how fast we can lose the oxygen in our, like we were thinking we're breathing or whatever, and then um like for instance, like if you're sitting on your leg too long, like and then you go to get up and it's like all tingly,
Yeah.
you're shallow breathing,
Oh,
right? Because the oxygen isn't in the blood to keep the blood circulating properly. Yeah. So, okay, now we're going to do the 4-7-8 breath, and this is one that Natasha's probably going to like the best. Okay, so this is about it promotes deep relaxation, reduces anxiety, and aids in sleep. If you're trying to go to sleep at night and you're just like restless, you start just close your eyes, start doing the 4-7-8 breath. It's way better than counting sheep, right? So this one promotes deep relaxation, reduces anxiety, and aids in sleep. It also lowers blood pressure and your heart rate. It relieves insomnia and anxiety, and it promotes deep relaxation and a sense of safety. Okay? This one can be done throughout the day too if you're feeling anxious, right? Because it just brings you back into that home space. Like there's no fight or flight because I'm got it. So ready to breathe? Okay, inhale for 4 through the nose. Hold for 7 and let out slowly for 8. Again, inhale for 4, hold for 7, and let it out for 8. Again, inhale for 4, hold for 7, let it out for 8. Are we all home in our bodies now?
that was the most relaxing one. It's kind of like, yeah, let me go to sleep now.
Yeah. It's a game changer if you're a person who tends to get stressed, and it yeah, I don't know, it's just so gentle. And this is where people find it's easier to let it out for 8 because when they're breathing in deeply, you can't breathe in deeply for 10 seconds. Like it's just too much because we take in so much breathing in, but we can easily let it out, right? So,
Want to hear a funny fact?
sure.
My cat and dog, who are usually fighting with each other, sitting left and right of me right now while doing the exercises. So talk about breath influencing the pets too, right?
Absolutely. Your animals will absolutely just calm.
I'm going to try this. Next time my son and my daughter are creating World War III, I'm just going to sit amongst them and breathe. And I'll come back to you, Adele. If this doesn't work, I'm sure you've got many other breaths that I
Well,
can use.
but it's
Oh, I might kill
interesting.
them.
No, because you could be in a totally different room. Say you're in the kitchen, right? Um, and this is really important too. Like you're in the kitchen cooking. If you're breathing shallow, that food isn't going to taste as good as if you're breathing full breath. Why? Because you're not using your heart to put the energy into the food. You're just slapping something together. You can take a simple thing as a grilled cheese sandwich. You slap it together, whatever, feed the kids, gone. Right? They're gone playing. Fine. You take the time and you're like, no, I want to give love to my kids through this simple grilled cheese. It's no extra effort to breathe through this love, this thing. The difference is they're going to feel more nourished eating that sandwich because they're going to feel your love through the sandwich. All you've done is breathe deeper. So I am going to give you the breath work, but it's also a healing modality, and it's like a I can't think of what it's called, like a sacral treatment. It goes back to more to the box breath, but it's 7 7 7 7. And while you're doing that, you're gonna hold your forehead and hold, the back of your head where it kind of folds down into. Hold that, right? So you're gonna breathe in for 7, and then release. Let it, and then let your breath out, and then breathe in, not holding, and then hold at the top of the breath for 7. Let go, let it go, and then breathe in again. And then put your hands back on, and then let it out slowly for 7. And then let go. And then with your empty breath, hold for 7. So this one's a game changer. You have someone who's hurt, you have someone having allergies, pretty much any emotion. Like you're just like, what is the emotion? Like the deeper you, like if you go, well, I'm in fear. No, it's never fear. It's always go deeper, go deeper, go deeper. You do a few rounds of these. I've used it for myself, many, many allergy attacks. Life changes,
Can you
right?
repeat
I
the
will repeat it. Yeah,
seven
yeah.
in holding?
It's always 7 7 7.
But you're not doing hold 7 in, hold breath for 7 and breath out for 7. You do 7 in, breathe normally.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
reason, like when I'm teaching it this way is because once you get really good with the breath, you can do the full square without taking breaks. Um, but without the breaks, you can literally fall over. Like you get way too dizzy, it's way too powerful. That takes a lot of time. I've been doing this one for years and I still don't do the full box very often. Because it for me, sometimes it depends. Like if I'm having an allergic reaction to something, I might have to do 15 rounds, right? So I need the break in between so I can do the full 15 rounds is the important part rather than doing it in one whole sequence. So ready again? Okay. So breathe in. As you're breathing in, you're holding. And then release. Just let your breath go. And then we're going to breathe in to hold it at the top. And then hold for 7. Let go. And then breathe in or hold. And we're going to let it out slowly for 7. And let go. And then at the bottom, we're going to hold it with it empty for 7. Yeah, so like if you're, say, um, actually that did help my throat a bit because I don't know what I ate, but whatever. Um, yeah, so um, that one works on the body in a totally different way. I call it my personal massager. Because, so for instance, say you stubbed your toe. You hold your intention on your toe for the pain and healing. You do the sacral breath with the holding, letting go, right? Your toe will heal. Because the sacrum, your head, is sending all the energy to your toe to heal. So, the floor is open. Questions?
Sorry, earlier on the dragon breathing, is it something like Soma breath? I mean, it's a quick in, quick out, quick in, quick out.
I um I don't do that one, but tell us more.
They call it Soma breathing, you know. That means it's like very fast, you know. In, out, you know. That means it's like a very physic type of breath work. They call it Soma breathing. So I'm not sure whether that relates. The one that but yours one is a bit more slow, right? You said the
Well,
dragon
yeah,
breathing.
like I mean everyone has their breathing like um that one that you breathe in and then breathe out really hard and then the short puff puff puff. Like
Mhm.
most women know that as Lamaze breathing to have a baby. Wim Hof has says, well, it's um it's escaping me right now. But he has his own I'm like, oh, that's having a baby breathing. Like, right? Like every culture has their own breathing,
Yep.
right? We might just go, oh, the fire, oh, that's this, right? Or the box breath, oh, well, that's the wall step. If dancers call it the wall step, I call it the box, right? So, um, my biggest thing with this whole breathing is breathe. We all forget to breathe,
Yep.
right? We get so busy in what we're doing that you forget that you're breathing from your collarbone up and not even using your lungs. And I can show people that have dis-ease in their body, they stop breathing when they're kids. You think about all these people with CPAP machines and can't breathe and right? And even asthma for that matter. Asthma is about being smothered, that they just stop breathing. And I'm like,
Mhm.
right? Then I go to the helicopter parents. Stop being a helicopter parents. Because you're smothering your child from expanding who they're supposed to be. There's nothing better than to watch a child play in puddles. But you know how many parents won't let them because they'll get dirty or wet? It's like, and even myself now, like I have proper rubber boots for the first time in my life since a kid. I love finding puddles because it just brings the joy back in. It brings the life back in, right? And like I was saying about, cooking the food or being in a different room, just going like I mean, I do it lots. I don't tell anybody, but it's like sometimes when the whole family's together, it's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And I go in the bathroom, I just breathe. I I keep my circadian rhythm neutral so I can be in the chaos of everything around me. And if I'm
Well,
getting caught up in the chaos, that means I've left my circadian rhythm.
you're present.
Yeah.
That's the point, right?
And now that we've moved into the age of Aquarius, this is absolutely more important than anything we can do. Is staying in the presence, in the heart, staying out of the head, and keep the breath going.
Question, Adele.
Hmm.
So I'm kind of new to breathwork. What is kind of so what I'm getting from this is that if I can get myself into some sort of rhythm habit
Hmm.
of doing this, and whether that is, an hourly alarm on my phone or something like
Hmm.
that, and I do 3 minutes of it. Um,
It could be 3 breaths.
okay, okay. It doesn't need
Like
to be.
when the alarm goes off, oh, breathe. 3 breaths.
Okay, yeah. And what comes to me is like this is much more intentional, right? You're
Yes.
really because when I'm doing the breath, definitely it's clear mind, right? My head is there's no thoughts in there. It's just focusing on it. So it's just having that. It's what comes as more intentional, and it's yeah, it feels really good.
And that's the main thing of um it is intentional.
But it becomes habit
Well,
from
yeah,
my own
because
experience.
like
But
you'd
once you
be
make it a
shocked at
habit,
how many times we're not breathing in the
yeah,
day. Our mind is figuring out this problem in our head and we're thinking dinner and the kids and we're like, stop. I'm coming home to me. I'm coming home to my breath. And when I started this, I said it's about the manifestation also. Without breath, God can't come in. Breath is the alignment of your body to your high self, right? And if you are staying in your head or in your like mundane everyday stuff, the bounty of the universe can't flow in because it says, what are we coming in for? You're not even connected. You're not even here, right? And so, um, yeah, and and trust me, like even a person who's been doing this breathwork stuff for many, many years, I'll be like, did I even breathe this week, let alone today,
mm,
right? And how many people say to me, oh, you got to do yoga. And I go, no, I don't. Because you know why? Yoga and this body, we're not friends. And then I also had a massage therapist when I realized yoga and me are not friends. She'd say, I have made a career over people doing the downward dog wrong. They end up on her table every time they go to yoga. Because you're doing a yoga pose, you're going, okay, I'm doing the pose, I'm doing the pose. No, you're not. The pose can only be done with the full breath involved. Get the breath work done, do the breath work for 15 years, and then maybe enter in a couple poses of yoga.
You know that too when you do go to the massage therapist and they find that point that
Yeah.
hurts.
And they go,
If
breathe,
yeah,
breathe
no,
it out.
if you really breathe into that point and acknowledge the pain point, the pain will go with the
Yeah.
second stroke.
Yeah. Or when
That's
they're like got their elbow in it and you're just like, can we use a thumb? Nope, this is a big one. And you're like, oh my Lord. Right? And it's funny because my body can release really fast. And even I get caught like, oh, how do people do this with big ones? Right? And then I had one massage therapist said, "Oh, you're easy. You should see some of the guys I get. I have to put my foot on the wall to get the strength to get that knot out." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, that ain't happening.
That sounds like torture.
It is torture.
It
We
is.
it
we
feels like
torture
torture.
ourselves by not breathing. We let things get stuck.
I have been
All
one of
diseases is just
slow
a
breath.
dis-ease in the body of a stuck emotion."
Yeah, holding the tension.
Hey, I have to jump. Thank you so much, Adele.
Yes, it was
You.
great seeing you,
It
Martin.
was wonderful. Everybody, a wonderful day. Thank you.
Yeah,
See you
thanks.
later. Nice to meet you.
My pleasure.
I gotta run too because I have a meeting to create a bachelor for bioenergetic wellness, so I gotta go too.